Good afternoon. I'm Pastor Bruce Adams, pastor of Loris First United Methodist Church in Loris, South Carolina, and this is our midweek blog as we continue on our little study about the life cycle of the butterfly and the parallels between that and our spiritual life and our spiritual growth. Now, just a few quick announcements to remind you that on April the 1st, Thursday evening at 7 p.m., we're going to have a Monday, Thursday service. I will be preaching and we'll be serving Holy Communion, and it will be at the Presbyterian Church. On Friday night, Good Friday, Reverend Tim Osmond will be preaching at our church, Loris First United Methodist Church, and we'll be worshiping together on Good Friday. And then Sunday morning, Easter Sunday at 7 p.m. will be our Easter sunrise service. And then on Easter, also at our church, we're going to have a butterfly release. We're going to have an Easter egg hunt after church. So we got a lot of neat things that we're looking forward to doing during this Easter season as we look forward to celebrating the resurrection of Jesus Christ. And during the Lenten season as we contemplate Jesus' life, especially as he approached the cross and what he did for us on the cross and the sacrifice so that we can be changed into his likeness and be born again into a newness of life. One of the things that you look at the life cycle of the butterfly, just once again, the egg, the larva, the pupa, the caterpillar, the pupa, the chrysalis, and then out comes the little butterfly, is that it's a very, each part of that is a very beautiful act of God's creation, and it's something designed by God. And the thing about it is while each one of those is very unique in its own way, the key thing is to understand the journey. It's a journey, and it's a struggle. It's if you take and get on YouTube and you look at the life cycle of the butterfly, it'll show you and it'll take you through, it'll speed up things, take you through the whole thing. And it's a real struggle to see that little butterfly come popping out of that chrysalis, and just to see the way the caterpillar eats and eats and eats and eats. And just it's almost exhausting to look at it. And of course, it takes several days and many weeks for all this to happen, but you can see it speed it up if you look at it on YouTube. And it really makes for something interesting to see. Now, what we're doing here, I'm going to show you this. We have a caterpillar here, and hopefully we got here another in a bigger jar, a caterpillar, and a few that have already gone into the chrysalis stage. And it's been amazing to sit and check on them each day or every other day, and to see how they are doing. And we got about, I guess we've got about 100 of them, 120 of them or something like that, okay? So we're gonna have a lot of fun on Sunday letting those butterflies go all over the place. And they're gonna be painted lady butterflies, okay? And there's a particular breed that we're working with. And you know what's really interesting about butterflies is you can have gardens, different kinds of plants that allow you to go have different kinds of butterflies. And it's just something that's a really unique and neat hobby to have, and things like that. But the important thing is to understand is that this process, the life cycle of the butterfly, is very much like our spiritual process of growing and becoming more like Christ. It's a spiritual evolution, it's being reborn, and it's about growing and maturing and struggling along the journey to become like Jesus. It's a process. And it's not just simply a matter of a butterfly just looking like a caterpillar so much as it's just an actual deep change. It's not just an external change, but it's also things that are going on inside the butterfly and the caterpillar and the chrysalis. Inside, it translates into an outward physical transformation. And the butterfly represents the Christian, the Christ-likeness as one comes into full maturity of being a Christian. And so, important to understand, the key thing is that the journey, the spiritual journey, just like the life cycle of the butterfly, is a process, and it's a very arduous process, but it's very, very worthwhile. And you know, it's amazing how God works in nature, as we see why you wonder why birds fly south, why little hummingbirds attach to bigger birds as they go south and migrate south. That's something that God programmed into them, their DNA. How salmon spawn upstream, go upstream to spawn. It's something that God in his creation programmed into their DNA. God has also programmed into our DNA a spirit and a soul. And we actually, or we're meant to be with him, joined with him, and like him. And that's the difference, though, between us and creation, though, is that we have a free will. And we can choose to work with him and allow him to come into our life and work into our life through and by the power of the Holy Spirit. And it's wonderful to be able to be a part of that change. And it's what the Bible is really all about. All the stories in the Bible are about change, transformation, from the fallen creature because of the sin that came into the world to being remade and reborn into God's kingdom and in the image of Jesus Christ. Now, I have a treat to hopefully show you next time, if I can work it out, where a friend of mine sent me a picture of the largest butterfly, and I didn't know about this. It's called the Atlas butterfly, and it is big, almost as big as from my elbow to your hand. And that butterfly, there's some unique things about that, because that butterfly doesn't live very long, because once it becomes a butterfly, it cannot eat, and there's some reasons for that. And there's some spiritual lessons in that. So we'll be moving next week into talking more about the butterfly and how the butterfly actually comes to fly. But there's a little story I'd like to share with you that I came across about a gardener who saw he saw a butterfly trying to break out of its cocoon, and he was watching it, and he was seeing how much it struggled and things like that, and it became very kind of a long and excruciating to look at that. And what happened is he got impatient, and he went and got some scissors in the house, came out and cut it and made an opening to help the butterfly out. But that didn't work out good because the butterfly failed and it was unable to. There's a process of fluid that needs to get out of its wings and into its body in order for the butterfly to be able to bask in the sunlight. And that's another important concept in order to fly. So the butterfly died. The sad thing about it is that butterfly needed to go through that difficult process in order to be all that it could be. And so we do too also as Christians, go through difficult times, become more like Jesus. So may God bless you.